Hi, good morning, class 9. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing fine and good and taking care of yourselves and full of energy and having fun and doing your studies as well. So it's great that you are. We hope to meet soon. It's been a long time now. But, anyways, the show must go on. So we were there on this English part of the that Kingdom of Fools, right? Uh, so we were there at that part. I'll just start from where we are going to just repeat that and we'll finish the story, and after that we'll do the question answers if possible today if we have time. Okay. So it's that place that there was a wall built and there was a fellow who went to steal and he wall fell on him and it broke, and this is about the there was a Pandit and a Brahmin and his guru and his chela. They had all come to stay in that city, and then it was all changed. The order was changed. It was from day to night, and this is what was happening. Basic information. The disciple and one day the guru and his disciple visited the kingdom. To their utter surprise, the city looked deserted. All shops, the timings were all wrong. Everything had the same rate of one kudu, and one dudu or kudu or something was there. So we'll go to that, and that incident always almost saved the kingdom. That the king used to just say whatever he wanted. He was all a fool. So everyone used to say anything to him. He used to believe that, and he used to go ahead with that. So this is what was his problem. So and the disciple, the chela actually decided to stay back. The disciple and the guru rejected the idea. He went away and he started eating fresh food, all cheap food, and he was becoming fat. And every day he was becoming fat. And there was a complaint against to the king that a thief's brother had come to set up a complaint that his brother had died while doing a theft, and the wall fell on him and it broke, and there was all these people who coming blaming each other, and he was believing that person. So let's see how far we can go. So we were there at that place, whereas when the merchant arrived, the king questioned him. My eyes are giving a lot of problem today. So we were on page 3, okay, of the story. When the merchant arrived, the king questioned, "What's your name?" "Such and such, your highness." "Were you at home when the dead man burgled your house?" "Yes, my lord. He broke in and the wall was weak. It fell on him. The accused pleads guilty. Your wall killed this man's brother. You have murdered a man. We have to punish you." "Lord," said the helpless merchant, "I didn't put up the wall. It's really the fault of the man who built the wall. He didn't build it right. You should punish him." "Okay, fine. Who is that?" "My lord, this wall was built in my father's time. I know the man. He's an old man now. He lives nearby." "Okay. Send my security guards and all to go bring him." And then the thing was, then they brought him tied in hand and foot, everything like a criminal. They brought him. "You there, did you build this man's wall in his father's time?" "Yes, my lord, I did." "What kind of wall is that you built?" "It has fallen on the poor man and killed him. You have murdered him. We have to punish you by death." And now he is in great trouble. This fellow is what kind of king is this? Before the king could order the execution, the poor bricklayer, he was also clever. He said, "Please listen to me before you give your orders. It's true I built this wall and it was not good, I know that also. But that was because of my mind was not on it. I remember very well a dancing girl uh, who was going up and down that street all day with her ankles jiggling, and I couldn't keep my eyes or my mind on the wall I was building. You must get that dancing girl, I know where she lives." I said, what kind of excuses are these? What is he trying to say? That he was building the wall was not good and strong because he saw that dancing girl's legs every day. She was wearing those anklets or piles, which you say. And she used to walk up and down the dancing girl. I used to watch that and my mind used to get diverted. Imagine what type of people there are. What a beautiful intellect kingdom it was. And I could, okay, so you are right. The case is going more deepen, it's deepening. So we must look into it. It's not easy to judge such complicated cases. Let's get that dancer Verisha. What a king he is. Oh my God. He thinks himself James Bond. The dancing girl, now an old woman, came traveling to the court. She was very scared. People, when called by the king, they get scared. And at that time, she was young. So many walls must have broken. This time, let's see. So she came. Did you walk up and down the street many years ago while this poor man was building a wall? Did you see him? Yes, my lord. I remember it very well. So did you walk up and down with your ankles jiggling, with your anklets jiggling? You were young and you distracted him, so he built a bad wall. So you have to be punished. Obviously, that's why. It has fallen on the poor burglar and killed him. You have killed an innocent man, you will be punished. You will have to be punished. Another problem, she thought for a minute and said, my lord, wait, control. I know why I was walking up and down that street. I had given some gold to the goldsmith to make some jewelry for me. He was a lazy scoundrel. He made so many excuses, said he would give it now and he would give it then, and so on all day. He made me walk up and down to his house a dozen times. That's when this bricklayer saw me. It's not my fault, my lord. It's the damned goldsmith's fault. If he won't have been late, I won't have been walking there. Isn't it? That's what she's trying to prove. And the king is James Bond, as you know. He's, Arthur Conan Doyle's story, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, he's thinking, oh, this is getting more deeper. It's going inside. I have to solve this case. It's very complicated. Okay, fine. She says at that time, what to do? Because that fellow had said he was a scoundrel, he said, I'm going to give it today, I'll give it at 12 o'clock, I'll give it at 2 o'clock. So every day in the morning, a dozen times means at least around about 12 times, I had to go up and down. Poor thing. She's absolutely right. The king is saying now. Thought the king. Weighing the evidence. Now he's thinking. Weighing the evidence he's getting. We have got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith where he is hiding at once. Call him. He says, Arey, what is this problem? It's a huge issue. That now go and call the goldsmith. Now he's thinking that he's solving the case. We have got the real culprit at last. Get the goldsmith where he is hiding at once. The king's bailiffs searched for the goldsmith who was hiding in a corner of his shop. Called him, held him. When he heard the accusation against him, he had his story to tell also. My lord, he said, I am a poor goldsmith. Yes, my lord, I am a poor goldsmith. It is true, I made this dancer come many times to my door. I gave her excuses because I couldn't finish making her jewelry before I finished the rich merchant's orders. They had a wedding coming and they wouldn't wait. You know how impatient rich people are, rich men are. Who is this rich merchant who kept you from finishing this poor woman's jewelry, made her walk up and down, which distracted the bricklayer, which made a mess of his wall, which has now fallen on an innocent man and killed him? Can you name him? Who is that rich person? The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Oh my God. Turning around, catch the ear by this, you are catching the ear by now. Now justice has come full circle. King is thinking, justice has come back to square one. The king is thinking now, oh yes, now I have got the clue, I have become Sherlock Holmes. Back to the merchant. When he was rudely summoned back to the court, he arrived crying. Yes, rudely called, you fellow, you said lies and all, and come here again. It wasn't me, but my father who ordered the jewelry. He's dead. I am innocent. Everyone has a story. But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively. It's true, your father is the true murderer. He's dead. But somebody must be punished in his place. Someone has to face this. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours. His riches as well, all his sins. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die now. What is this? Okay, huge. I'm just wanting to laugh, but I'm not able to laugh right now. But it's an awesome story. I'll come back in the next video and we'll finish it.